The first generation Honda Pilot, it's a pretty tough act to follow. In fact, it was one of the first car-based three-row SUVs available on the market, and it scored really well in our test. But nowadays, almost every manufacturer has a car-based three-row SUV, so Honda redesigned the Pilot. This time around, they made the styling a bit more boxy, more truck-like. How does this Pilot do in our test? Let's find out. When you drive the Pilot, it makes a pretty good first impression. In fact, it drives quite a bit better than the last Pilot. Steering, it's well weighted, accurate, really quite nice. Body roll, it's also well contained. The Pilot's emergency handling, it doesn't shine, but it's secure enough. There's standard stability control, but the limits are pretty low, and the speed it went through our avoidance maneuver is fairly modest. The ride is comfortable, compliant, and composed. It's a smooth sail on the highway, but there's road noise. Lots and lots of road noise all the time. It gets really bad on coarse surfaces, and it makes it hard for people in the front seat to talk to passengers in the back. This is kind of a shame, because there isn't much wind noise, and the engine, well, makes a really smooth hum. The Pilot's drivetrain works pretty well. It's a 3.5-liter V6, mated with a 5-speed automatic transmission. The automatic, it's smooth and responsive. Acceleration is decent, but it's not exactly quick. You do get a pretty good 18 miles per gallon, though. A major disappointment with the Pilot are its brakes. Stopping distances in either wet or dry are fairly long. The visibility out of the Pilot is decent. There's large glass area, although some of the rear roof pillars get thick. When you're backing up, though, one nice feature, on higher trim levels, you get a standard rear view camera. It's located in the mirror, so you don't need a navigation system. There are some more disappointments in the Honda's interior. Fit and finish, it's not too impressive. Lots of hard plastics, many of them look kind of cheap. There's also a whole lot of fit lines and some pretty large gaps. The controls, well, you have a big center console, but for some reason, Honda clusters all the controls together down the middle. There's a lot of similar looking buttons, especially for the climate controls. And where the shifter is located, it makes it harder to see and access some of those controls. But the news isn't all bad inside of the Pilot. One thing, the gauges. They're sort of funky 3D looking, but they're really clear, really easy to read. Also, storage. There's lots of room all over. You get the normal big cubby hole in the console, but there's much more than that. Underneath the sliding cover, there's cup holders, big bin down here, bin here in the middle of the dashboard, shelves on top of the glove box, lots and lots of storage spaces. The front seats, they're comfortable and supportive. Same goes for the second row. There's good room here, even for 3 adults. The Pilot will fit 8 people. That's pretty impressive because this isn't that long of a car. But 3 of those 8, they better be small people because there's not a whole lot of room back in this third row seat. You can increase legroom by sliding forward the second row and splitting the difference. In the back of the Pilot, the rear window opens separately, or you can open the entire lift gate. Now, with the third row seat up, there's decent cargo space left. Obviously, you get a lot more if you fold down this seat. But there's a couple neat features here as well. You can open this up, and then there's a net. So you get 2 levels of cargo storage. Bottom line, we are disappointed in the new Pilot. Sure, it's still a practical size, and it gets decent fuel economy, but it's got some disadvantages. In this competitive segment, it used to be at the top of its class. Now, it's no better than mid-pack.